Okay, are live. So I will call our January 21, 12:30 p.m. special meeting of the Board of Health to order. We can do a real quick roll call if you'd like. I guess we can just recognize who's here. It might be quicker. Yeah, Commissioner Waldron, Commissioner
Hello.
Jordan, myself, Commissioner Kearns. We've got Maureen Rosette, and is that? Oh, and Liz Henry, and of course Michelle Fossum and are all present. So, with that, I'll recognize Commissioner Jordan. Wanted to raise.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess I have a point of parliamentary inquiry, perhaps, about the notice for today's meeting. My understanding is within the original understanding was that the elected board members and tribal board members would be the participants in this interview and recommendation process. I think there's been a change in that understanding within the past 24 hours that essentially any member of the board can participate in the interview and recommendation process, perhaps except then the position that they may be applying for if they're a current member of the board. So that's a change in our understanding of who could participate. And I think I think I'm correct that the 3 community seats did not receive an advance invitation as the other board members did to this meeting. And I know there's been attempts within the past 24 hours to try to verbally call, let people know, but we don't have Dr. Blakowski-May available. I don't think any of them are here right now of the 3 positions. So I'm just raising that as a concern and perhaps asking the question if we think it might be better from a process standpoint to hold this process at a later date and give all the board members a further advance notice. I know that's probably a big inconvenience to our applicants, so I'm not excited to make that or ask that question. I'm just noting that we do have February, is it 11th held? 12th for, I think, 4 hours of time. So that's an alternative if the will of the board is to provide advance notice to all of the other board members. So that's just an issue I wanted to flag from a process standpoint.
Yeah.
And I'll just add to that Charlie Duranona, who has one of the current seats, is TDY with the military, and my understanding is not available. And I talked to Patricia Keenholz earlier this morning, and my understanding was she was going to participate this afternoon, but I don't see her now. So I think that leaves us with Dr. May. Don't know how you feel about that, Dr. May, if you would prefer to have things delayed so that you could participate, or if you would prefer that we just go forward. I don't know what your preference is.
Well, my preference, as it is somewhat challenging for me to carve out these times, especially in this recent flurry of board meetings, I would love to go forward with the current plan and what the past practices have been, and I'm okay with not participating in the interviews from, for the other stakeholder categories.
Thank you.
Is there any thoughts from anybody else? Maureen or Commissioner Kearns? Commissioner Waldron?
So
I too. Oh,
what
sorry.
will that, can I just ask so if, I appreciate that Dr. Blakowski-May, and I appreciate this all was kind of raised, like, oh, wait a minute, when you read the RCW, it doesn't, as I understand what you're saying, Michelle, is it says if you're a current board member, you can participate in the interviews.
It's actually the Washington Administrative Code in the
Oh, the
regulations
WAC.
promulgated by
Okay.
the State Department of Health. Says the Board of Health will do the interviews in a panel format.
Okay.
That's what we have to work
So
with.
it doesn't really clarify, but it doesn't give any exclusions, basically.
Right.
Okay.
But it makes sense from a conflict of interest standpoint that you wouldn't participate in interviews for a position that you want to be appointed to.
Right, right. Okay, I guess, I mean, if none of the appointed members are going to participate today, then maybe it's a moot point. But what if someone does join the meeting? So that's what I'm,
Well, we know that
so to,
Charlie's not going to, because he's out of the country, I guess. I thought Patricia was going to participate and be here.
I just texted her to see, maybe
Okay.
there was some confusion on timing, but she hasn't responded, so I don't know.
Okay. And then the only other one is Dr. Blakowski-May.
I mean, this is Commissioner Kearns. My concern is, I mean, had we known ahead of time that it was the full Board of Health, would we have been able to find a date that could have worked for all three of the citizen appointees? I mean, it's essentially a third of our board, because of this date and not having advance notice to them, are not able to participate in the full process. So, when we set this date, a month ago or close to a month ago, I mean, I guess we didn't know that they were entitled to participate in this process. So I think, I completely, I see what Commissioner Jordan's point is there, and I certainly respect it. I mean, would this be more fair, more with the process, in delaying and looking at dates where we can have a full composition of the board to participate here?
I'll just say I can kind of see all directions, but one challenge or one area where I recognize Dr. May's schedule and perhaps even a desire to accommodate what has been a very challenging process from a timing standpoint. And I would hate to put her in a situation where it's more of an impact on her schedule down the road, but I do wonder about, does it raise questions about the process or anything like that if proper notice wasn't given? I don't think anybody's doing anything litigious, but I just don't want us to end up in a situation where something is called into question because maybe it was done improperly. And so I would just really want to make sure that we're on solid footing if we're going to proceed.
Maybe, Mr. Chair,
Yep, go ahead.
maybe it would make sense to ask the members of the board who are here if February 12th would work for them. Get a general sense, because we already have that time scheduled. It is potentially available if the board wanted to use it for rescheduling this process.
So are we still board members on February 12th?
That's a good question.
yeah, is that the last day or is it the day after? I don't understand.
I can pull up the commissioner's resolution pretty quickly if you give me a second here. Hmm.
So one
Good
complication, I got a response from Patricia saying that she had intended to participate following her interview, but that would mean that she would miss the first interview, which would then put her out of that category entirely. And so I wonder if that's a misunderstanding.
Oh, because she wouldn't be able to weigh in on the public health,
Right.
because we broke that up into two different sections, that those candidates.
I guess I have a question that would be more for Michelle. The current composition of the board, sort of the reason for any of this was to equal the number of electeds and non-electeds on the board. If we are excluding or not allowing the three citizen representatives, or if they're not, I mean, are we sticking with that? I mean, because there's clearly more electeds on the board than non-electeds if they don't participate in the process. Just wondering if there's anything to worry about there.
I don't think there's anything to worry about because there's still, the board membership is still equal. at
Okay,
this
but
point in time,
but for today, for the purpose of today, I mean, like there's a 24-hour notice for the public, but did we even give those three board members 24-hour notice?
No, that didn't.
No, no.
So, yeah.
And I think that gets to your point, like, if there was any question, if the Board of County Commissioners is going to get these recommendations, and there's something that seems that there was some, something that
Something
didn't,
improper.
you just don't want that to happen. We want it to be a clean process where there are clear recommendations from the board members that were notified and able to participate. Obviously, we just need a quorum to actually hold the meeting.
Well, I mean, if we're going to make a change at this very late moment, would a motion be the proper way to go about that?
Yep, I think that'd be the way to do it.
Okay, so I would, if there is a motion to be made, I would entertain.
Just, can I do some further discussion
Please,
first?
yes.
Just want to point out that Ann's put up the appointment resolution for the three community members on the screen. So it clearly says they're appointed to February 12th. So does that mean that they would be board members on that date? That would be my understanding.
That seems like a reasonable interpretation of that language to me.
So I think the answer to the doctor's question is yes.
Yeah.
And that presumes that our interviewees are available on the 12th as well.
Alternatively, I mean, we can keep that date held, and alternatively, there could be, even if we had to divide it up by category, do 45 minutes, an hour here, hour there, we could try to fit it in a different schedule. It doesn't have to be February 12th.
I could do February 12th, looking at my calendar, just
Okay.
at this time.
So Patricia is the only board member who currently wants to participate. And if we decide that that should be the practice, then we could move forward today.
I don't want to speak for Dr. May in terms of what she wants to do. Perhaps logistically, it's more the issue. I don't know.
Didn't you state, Dr. May, that you were fine either way, or?
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I mean, I have a preference for today just because I have carved out this time for this purpose. But if it's, I mean, I'm not going to fight it if from a legal standpoint it would create some irregularities. That I can make the 12th work.
Okay. Well, just given our time, I think we have to make a decision one way or the other. So I would just entertain a motion if someone wants to consider that change. We can do that. Commissioner?
I'll move that we reschedule this meeting for February 12th at the time that's already been reserved, which I think is 1 o'clock.
Could you maybe amend that to say or other times as would work for board members and interviewees, just in case the February 12th does not work for some?
Yes. Or other time determined by the board.
There you go.
Yeah, I do have a 1 o'clock meeting on the 12th that I would prefer not to reschedule if possible.
Okay.
Can I ask just a clarification on Commissioner Jordan's motion there? When you said or other times, does that allow for other dates to be explored? or are we locking ourselves into only the 12th? And the reason I ask, I mean, there's a lot of days between
Yeah.
January 21st and February 12th. Are we sure there aren't some other dates in between now and then that could work for everyone?
And that was my
And
suggestion.
should we allow for those to be explored?
Yeah.
I think the motion would allow for other dates to be explored.
Okay, then I will second your motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Commissioner Kearns. We'll open up for any further discussion. Commissioner?
Yeah, if the board approves the motion, I just want to apologize to the interviewees. This was just a question that came up in the last 24 hours. I don't think anyone was trying to do anything other than figure out what is the right process here. And I think there's been a recognition that we need to have all the board members be able to participate. They have the right to, other than if they're reapplying for that position. So there's not a motion I want to make other than feeling that from a process standpoint, we need to make sure all of the board members have adequate notice of the hearing and their right to participate. So apologies to the interviewees.
Yeah, we sort of stumbled into this information, so yes, please.
I just, it's really difficult for me to attend all the special meetings and to, I drive an hour to work and I have to drive an hour back, and it makes it really difficult for me to participate. So I wasn't planning to be here today, but I took the time out of my schedule to be here today. And I'm sure all of the interviewees have done the same thing. So, yeah, I would rather proceed.
And I would just add that if you participate in the special meeting, that constitutes a waiver or agreement to any issue with the 24-hour notice. And the notice issue cannot be raised by anybody other than a board member. So from a risk standpoint, I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? I'm not seeing any, so we will move to the vote. All of those in favor of the motion presented by Commissioner Jordan to move the meeting potentially to February 12th or somewhere in between, please say aye.
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 I
Any opposed?
Aye, me.
Aye.
Is that Dr. May?
I'm abstaining.
Oh,
That was Maureen.
fair. So is that 4 to 2 to 1?
I think that's what I heard.
Okay. Well, I guess with that motion carrying, Anne, are you able to notify our applicants and let them know of the change?
We'll begin notifying them immediately.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, is there anything else to discuss? Anything for the good of the order here? And sincerest of apologies, Liz. I completely understand. I would be very angry if I were in your shoes, so I cannot apologize enough. But with that, we will adjourn this special meeting at 12:53.
Thank you.